look at it. Oh, that's really good, FromSoft. You think you're so funny with that one, don't you? Well, it was all a lie, wasn't it? Yeah, really funny. Hello there again, legends. Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest lies inside of Elden Ring Nightreign. FromSoft is known for very loose explanations on certain aspects inside their game, but this one really takes the cake. So we do have this one dormant power inside of Nightreign that says inflict blood loss at low HP. Well, what it should actually say is weapons gain bleed upon crit hit. Because you do not gain bleed or blood loss at low HP, and you don't gain bleed or blood loss when the enemy is at low HP. You only gain the bleed buff when you score a critical hit on the enemy or boss. And this bleed buff will last for 30 seconds on your weapon, which is very respectable in my opinion. And if for some weird reason you're still unsure on how to land a critical hit inside of Elden Ring or Nightreign, you gotta keep hitting the enemy, you're eventually gonna poise break them, then you'll land the fatal blow on them. That fatal blow is your critical hit for anyone that still might be unsure. So now that we know that if we take this dormant power and score a crit on the enemy, we're going to be getting that bleed buff, so how can we take advantage of it? I've only really tested this out on Raider so far because I have been trying to get a level 1 run completed and it's been kicking my ass, but Raider can easily stagger and poise break enemies, so I thought this would be a good class to try and test this out on and see how this dormant power actually works. But I really do think that Wilder, Duchess, and Executor are probably going to be better classes to take advantage of this dormant power, as they already have a lot of weapons that they can loot that already come with the bleed status effect, and I would like to think that the bleed buff on crit should help you proc your bleed twice as fast. Again, I'm just speculating, I haven't really tested this out, I'm just going based off like Elden Ring knowledge, but I'm going to assume that the bleed on crit buff should stack with bleed weapons. If it doesn't, please let me know. I don't want to spread misinformation. I'm just assuming because there's other things in the game that kind of work that way. But either way, Wilder has no trouble poise breaking enemies, and neither does Executor if you use the Cursed Sword. And even Duchess with a stopwatch of death can build up more hits on the enemy or boss for that eventual poise break, and then you can get that bleed buff when you crit the enemy. So this dormant power is definitely a lot better than I originally thought. I was one of those silly simpletons that just thought this was trash because I was like, why the fuck would I want to get a buff at low HP? Because when I'm playing Elden Ring or Nightreign, I'm trying my best to not be at low HP if I can prevent it. So I really did think this dormant power was an easy skip, but now that I know how it works, and depending on what character I'm playing, it definitely seems a lot more viable than I originally thought. I don't know how many other people have mentioned this information, but I do want to give a shout out to E_Vac. His short floated its way over to my YouTube homepage, and he was the one that brought me into the light about this dormant power. So credit where credit is due. I did see Evac's short first, and he did a fantastic job at explaining how we were all misunderstanding this exact dormant power. So shout out to that guy. So clearly someone fucked up the translation down at the office with this dormant power, and I guarantee you that would have been someone on their late Friday afternoon shift if I was a gambling man. I'm also very surprised that FromSoft hasn't recorrected the dormant power either. Like, sure, yeah, there are more important things to deal with than a slight mistranslation, but it does seem kind of funny that this is still in the game. So let me know in the comment section below, did you know about Elden Ring's biggest lie, or were you stuck in the dark just like I was? I'm always keen to hear your guys' thoughts. Level 1 run is coming, ladies and gentlemen. I can feel it in my bones. But until then, appreciate all the love and support as always, guys. And until next time, stay safe. Peace out.